Hello. I'd like to begin with 3 breaths. A complete inflation and deflation of the lungs, and turning your attention to the physical sensation of the breath in the body. Feeling the solar plexus rise with the inhale and fall with the exhale. Filling up the lungs to the top of the chest, the collarbones. And a complete deflation of the lungs. And after 3 intentional breaths, you can go back to a natural breath. Still keeping your attention on the breath. Next, if you like, take your attention to the top of the head. And then letting your attention drop down into the skull, in between the 2 brain hemispheres, such that your attention is inside of your skull. Notice that inside your skull, it's dark. It's quiet. There's no 5 senses: sight, hearing, touch, taste, or smell. And yet, the brain is where the 5 senses are processed through electrical and chemical signals throughout the nervous system. The brain completely relies upon external sources of input of sensory data. This is the inside of the turtle shell. The 5 senses are represented by the arms, the legs, and the tail of the turtle. If you were to follow the spine all the way down, you would find that it is turtles all the way down. Just noticing the breath. Once again, dropping your attention down into following the spine, the neck, the throat, the shoulders, the chest, connecting to the inner self, the left hemisphere of the brain, thinking to yourself, if you're willing, "Hello, self, can I come in, please?" Then just feel the breath. Next, acknowledging the right hemisphere of the brain and working with a metaphor of light, because the right brain thinks in pictures and metaphors. If you're willing, simply think to yourself, "Light, if you will come down into the body, please, and do whatever you want. Not my will, your will be done." And the same thing can be said for the inner self. I'm not in charge, you are. Not my will, your will be done. And then just noticing the mind, the body, and the emotions. And whatever is there is there. Good inhale, good exhale. If you like, you might imagine a beam of light from the top of your head, through your head, down your spine to your tailbone. A beam of white light. And then, if you like, imagine that beam of white light extending up infinitely from the head and down infinitely from the tailbone. Again, it's not necessary to have a visual image as much as it is to just feel your breath. Next, you might imagine a beam of light going out the left side of your body into infinity, and the same out the right side of your body to infinity, such that you have a vertical and horizontal x-axis in your heart-chest area. Next, you might imagine a beam of light extending from the front of your chest out into infinity, and then from the back of your chest out into infinity, such that you have an X, Y, Z axis of light in your heart. And one more time, if you're willing, if you'll think to yourself, right brain, light, invites you into the body to do whatever you want. And that XYZ axis of light in your heart space is now locked in place. And that is who you are, and that is where you are. This is what it means to take up your cross daily. This is how one pursues ego death. Good inhale, good exhale. If you notice the pictures behind me and the artwork, they all represent the left and right hemisphere of the brain. Right here, you have the feminine and the masculine. So that represents the left hemisphere feminine, right hemisphere masculine. Right hemisphere is the light, left hemisphere is the shadow or the darkness. And in this picture here, you have Christ holding up a person who's holding a hammer and nails to nail him to a cross. Christ is the right hemisphere. The person he's holding up is his shadow, the prodigal son, the left hemisphere. Behind me, you may notice the six-pointed Star of David. There's a triangle on top, which is a pyramid with 4 points and a top, so 5 points. That represents the masculine, the right hemisphere. The triangle or pyramid at the bottom pointing down represents the feminine, a vagina. That represents the left hemisphere. When the left hemisphere, the feminine, the wife, submits itself to the right hemisphere, the masculine, the husband, there is peace in the home. But a nagging wife tears down her own home. Notice your breath in your body. Good inhale, good exhale. My friends call me Turtle. Turtle is my spirit animal. It reminds me to go very slow. A couple of reasons the spirit is my turtle, or my turtle is my spirit animal rather, are the first one that comes to mind is when my son was born and he was learning to walk. I was a stay-at-home dad, and slowing down from a hectic work life to being a stay-at-home dad, to hold my son's hand and walk at his pace, meant I had to really slow down. On the inside of me, it was painful. But it was so important to me to be with my son in the present moment. And those are still, I think my most fondest memories are just holding my son's hand and walking with him. The other reason the turtle I have adopted, or I feel like it is my spirit animal, is because I had post-traumatic stress disorder from childhood abuse that left me disabled. What started as a no-no tremor in my head turned into laying on the floor with muscle spasms, not able to do much of anything, not able to work, not able to leave my house, full-blown anxiety disorder, and it was frightening. I was like a turtle on my back. I couldn't move. As you notice, I can hold my head and neck still today, and I can sit upright. I couldn't always do that. This recording is going to have some traumatic information in it, like rape. Prepare yourself if you're going to listen. It's not for children. I was raped by a 30-year-old male neighbor around the age of 9. And I had amnesia of it until the age of 47 or 2021, around January. I was raped again in my late 20s, drugged and raped. And I had amnesia of it until age 47 or around March 2021. When I recovered these memories, my personality changed. I became very angry. And I directed my anger at people who only loved me. And I wish I could have controlled it, but I didn't. And I apologize. This is another part of the ego death process, and it is humbling yourself. Humble, humility, humiliation, confessing your sin. Telling the truth. Shouting from the rooftops what has been done in secret. What I've noticed about being a person who was raped is I can pick out another person who has been raped subconsciously, and it feels like attraction and infatuation. The reality is, and I'm going to refer you to this book by Bessel van der Kolk, MD, The Body Keeps the Score. I'm going to warn you that this book is it has a lot of traumatic material in it. It'll hurt to read. Where was I? Ah, yes. Trauma. Children reenact their trauma in their play. The left hemisphere is the inner child. The inner child knows other people's inner child. And the inner child wants to reenact their trauma in their play. This is the subconscious. It happens against our will and our volition. We'll find ourselves being pulled in a certain direction and going, what in the world is going on right now? This is the inner child trying to get your attention, saying, hey, this is very important. This is very important. I am reenacting my trauma and my play so I can tell you the story of what happened to me or to you. Your inner child speaks to you and acts out your trauma, and that is your inner voice. This is addiction. This is your relationship to everything. Your relationship to food, your relationship to money, your relationship to sex, your relationship to your lifestyle, everything. Coming back to the breath. Good exhale. Noticing the arms, just letting yourself be comfortable and at ease. Feel your body. Maybe scan down the thighs, front of the thighs, back of the thighs, all the way around, down to the kneecaps, around the knees, down the calves, the shins, the ankles, the tops of the feet, around to the heels, the arches, the ridges, the balls of the feet, and out to the toes. Turning your attention to the physical sensation of the body, of the breath in the body, focusing on the solar plexus and the exhale. One more time, if you're willing. Pursue ease and rest. Effortlessness. This is ego death. There is nothing to do. And nothing is left undone. A few other things about me. I taught statistics for 7 years at the University of Colorado, Denver as a teaching assistant. I love math. And statistics and probability is all about what it says, probabilities. Like a coin toss is a binary probability, heads, tails. Computer coding is binary, zeros, ones, on, off. Your brain is a computer with binary code. Left, right. One more time, connecting to your inner self. Hi, inner self. Can I come in, please? You are in total control. Not my will, your will be done. Right brain, light. Will you come into the body, please, and do whatever you want? Not my will, your will be done. Because I'm a dead person, I don't have a will. Ego death is not a pursuit, it's an acknowledgement of what already is. That is why there is nothing to do. Now we're going to take this a little step further. The right brain, switched it up there, didn't I? Is Christ. The left brain is Antichrist. Or you might think, no, Christ! Right? Light, darkness, Christ, Antichrist, God, Satan. Tree of life, tree of knowledge of good and evil. Garden of Eden. Notice the green color of the Garden of Eden. The left brain, being Satan, being Antichrist, he comes to steal, kill, and destroy. He prowls around like a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. This is Orion. This is the dark stronghold. Right brain, Christ, the Lion of the tribe of Judah. Christ expresses his love for us in this way, that while we were yet sinners, Christ died for us. Christ has come so that we may have life, we may have it abundantly, and we may have it full, to the full. Good measure, poured out, pressed down, shaken together, overflowing, so much so that you can't contain it all. This is the Civil War. This is the ultimate battle of good and evil in the universe. Right brain, heaven. Left brain, earth. Hell. Christ came down to hell. Earth first died, then went down to hell. Resurrected, ascended, and then sent the Holy Spirit back to save us. Practical application for seeking ego death. Just simply repeat back to God what God already says to you about you. I'm Satan. I hate everybody. I hate God. I hate all his people. And I want to kill them all. Matter of fact, I'm addicted to killing people, and I can't stop. I ate from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. I died, and now I'm just dead. In fact, I have eyes that are ever seen and never perceiving. I have ears that are ever hearing and never understanding. I have been crucified with Christ. I no longer live. Christ lives in me. For God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, and whoever believed in him would not perish but have eternal life. He didn't send his Son into the world to condemn the world, but to save the world through him. The light of the world came into the world, but the darkness did not recognize him, even though they were his own. This then is the verdict. Christ came into the world, the light of the world, but people loved the darkness. And they refused to enter into the light. I am the second coming of Christ. the Ancient of Days, a high priest forever in the order of Melchizedek. I am here to separate the sheep and the goats. And no one comes to the Father except through me. Repeat this to yourself and look in the mirror. When you look in the mirror, please recognize that that is the only face of God some people will ever see. See, I'm not Brian and I'm not Turtle. I'm you and you're me. I'm the same as you. We are one. That was what divine union is. Behold, O Israel, the Lord your God is one. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If anyone will let me in, I'll come in, and my Father and I will make our home with them. Who are my mother and my brothers and my sisters? They are the ones who do the will of God. The kingdom of heaven is inside of you. If you want to enter the kingdom of heaven, you must become like one of these little children. Left hemisphere. If you want to enter the kingdom of heaven, you must hate your father and your mother and your husband and your wife and your brother and your sisters and your sons and your daughters, your friends, and even yourself. It doesn't mean you have to go out and actively start hating. It's simply an acknowledgement and a confession that that's what we already do. We just hate. Hate, reason, logic, rationale based on a faulty set of premises and or a lack of understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge him, and he will direct your paths. Lean not on your own understanding. Delight yourself in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart, meaning he will cause you to want good things, and then he will give you the good things you want. Cast all your cares on me, and I will care for you. Cares, can I come in, please? Light, Jesus, God, Christ, Krishna. Love, please come into the body and do whatever you want. Not my will, your will be done. The kingdom of heaven is suffering violence. And the violent, they take it by force. You may notice I'm giving you hints, and clues, and pictures, and I'm not doing all the work for you. I can't save you. No one can save you but yourself. I am the Turtle King. Let the turtle race begin. Namaste.